Recording in progress. Hello, ladies
Hello,
and gentlemen. My name is K Kurt,
I'm Marcus Bronzy.
and this is Ain't Got a Clue. Yeah, welcome, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been, listen, I believe as we record this, a lot is happening in the world right now. In a world where we feel like a lot more can't happen, more is going on. And I'm
Oh, this is
clueless.
it.
I'm clueless as usual, bro.
This
Clueless
is,
as usual.
do you know the maddest thing about all this is, yeah, like things are changing like every 2 minutes.
Hmm.
So if whatever we say is happening now, it's likely that by the time it goes out, it might be different. So there's So, I'm not gonna start banging on about world events in that fashion because otherwise, we're just gonna sound like we're out of touch.
Well, we can say over the last week, though, okay, I'm with you on that, but we can say over the last week, it is very fair to say that everybody thought we were going to be in a world war, and now maybe less
We,
so. We're still not
we've,
sure.
I think we've been in a world war, bro. We've been
Yeah,
in a world war.
yeah, man.
Listen, it's fucking mad. But I saw Trump getting really pissed off the other day.
What about?
Well, he's like, we've agreed to ceasefire. We've agreed to ceasefire. Both sides agreed to ceasefire. And then fucking comes out the next morning. He's like, Israel broke the ceasefire. And he's like, but they, you can't agree to a ceasefire. And 1 hour later, drop biggest bombs I've ever seen. It's, he's like, that's not. Wait, let me find a video. He was basically moaning about like, he was like, yeah, how are you lot dropping bombs while the ceasefire's on? And he's like, none of you know what the fuck you're doing. He got like proper,
It was
he
it.
got
I
proper,
think what they did, what might have happened is
right?
the conversation was you're going to stop fighting.
Fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that?
People going
You,
wild over him sweat using the F bomb as well, innit? On the internet, I saw people getting very
yeah.
excited about
Well,
somebody
Sky News
swearing.
going, sorry for the president's language there. This is, listen, this whole situation, let's not make fun of it and whatever, yeah.
Not at all. Yeah.
However, one thing we have to agree on is Trump always tries to find humor in these things. And on his, mate, mate, he's gone on True Social, posted a video of them um mashing up. Well, it's just planes
Hmm.
dropping bombs and stuff. Look at the music he's put on the back of it. Hold on.
I can't hear it. Oh, the algo's not letting us hear that. How could we hear what he was saying and we can't hear that?
You can't hear it.
No, it didn't play at all. I swear to God.
Wait, let me send it to you on your WhatsApp, and then you can let me see if you can. Um, let me see if you can play it through the speakers. But yeah, basically, he's just it's a remix of Barbara Ann of some sorts.
What is going on? They don't want us to play this, bro. There we go.
Well, you can't play it on yours.
I've heard enough. I've heard enough. Did you hear that?
Nothing plays through the speaker. No, I
Yeah.
couldn't hear
Okay.
hear a thing.
Basically, it was a remix instead of the original lyrics. It's bomb, 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 bomb. Iran, bro.
Bomb, 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 bomb,
These
Iran.
these are country leaders. These leaders of states. Yeah, people, leaders of the world. These are the people that are at the helm of the human race, dropping memes on the
Yep.
internet, whilst, shall I say, doing what is a very important job in the world, a job where I don't think really you should have time for posting memes like that or sourcing that. Like, what kind of conversation happens to lead us up to that point, or is he just on his phone giggling away, posting memes while he's
He's
meant to
not
be doing
making
paperwork?
that. He's not making that. And
Is
he's
he pressing the send button on that though? Do you think?
I've seen him in that documentary where he's like reading out what to tweet to someone and they just press enter. He's like,
Okay,
do
wow,
this, write this, and I was very disappointed. Uh, yeah, send that, send that. So
flipping hell, you can't
yeah.
even. Kay, it's a storyline out of South Park, bruv.
Yeah,
How are people at South Park going to make shows that are supposed to be like satirical and wild at the same time when you have
because
the
yeah,
real world doing that, probably at a higher level, bro?
I think we're very close to a reset button being pulled on the world.
Yeah.
I think we're getting there, bro.
Is
I
that a
don't know what
nuclear? Is
this
that a
is.
nuclear reset button? Because I think that's the kind of size button it's going to take to reset things.
I just think we're entering a new age where everything that we believe to be correct,
Yeah.
everything that we believe to be right, everything that we sort of revered and respected, it's like the emperor's new clothes. The illusion is falling in front of our eyes.
It is, Matt. I think we're seeing people for the humans that they are, and that is. I think we used to look at people like presidents and stuff like that, and they'd be revered. They'd be like these otherworldly humans that have achieved these great things. These got into positions that we could not even possibly imagine. So we would believe
But
that
now
they
you're like,
would
I
they
could
would
do
operate
that.
at a different level. Now you're seeing these bres doing memes and posting memes. I remember when they got onto Obama for wearing a tan suit a few years ago. They were like in shock and all like, how dare he disrespect the US and wear like a brown suit. And then now you got prime ministers out here posting memes with remixes of song. This is absolutely I'm flabbergasted, Kay. And that's a big word for me to use at this time in the morning when we're recording this.
It is.
My ghast is flabbered, bro.
It is ridiculous, bro. It's honestly like I don't know, man. It's a scary world because I've been thinking about like the future, obviously, and like you get to a certain age and you're like, oh, do I? Obviously, you want to have kids and stuff, but you're like, what kind of a world am I bringing people into? And it's like, I think if you think about if you grew up in the 80s or 90s, not much did change technologically, I think. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Like I mean, look, the way music was consumed, probably like what you went from tapes to CDs, that kind of thing. It wasn't like, but it wasn't like drastic. Like things change so quickly on a 6 month period now. Do you know what I mean? It's like you could have had a house phone in your house for years, and a house phone was probably older than you at
Mm.
one point, right? Things didn't change, but now like things change so quickly, and it's really hard, I think, for like older parents to keep up, let alone younger parents. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you said people want to have kids nowadays, and I'm like, if you're growing up and you're seeing this on the news, do you? Do you really want to bring people into this? Do you really want to invite people to this party? I don't know how I'd feel if I knew that two people brought me into the world when shit was going on like this. I might be like, you know what? I don't know if I rate you for that because you've taken me to an absolutely shit party. If I
Well,
like,
what you can say is they are eternal optimists, or
yeah,
them motherfuckers loved fucking.
yeah. Or yeah. Or they were like, you know what? That's all they had. This is all we got. You know what I
War's
mean?
gonna end. Let's have fancy a
Yeah.
shag.
Yeah. Oh, it didn't. Oh shit. All right. Cool. Oh, it's going to end again. Fancy another shag? Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, flipping hell.
That
That
wasn't
is
that in
mad.
Independence Day when like that documentary where
Yeah.
the world was about to end and there was a girl and a boy in the like trailer whatever it was and they were just like yeah let's just start getting it on.
I know loads of people that'll do that. I know loads of people to do that. I was on a trip yesterday. I was away work and we actually were openly having the conversation of like,
I thought you were gonna say and we were all openly
we were
just
openly like,
having
yo,
it.
the world
We
might
were
end
just
tomorrow, so let's just you want to beat?
there was loads of us. It was
Yeah,
five
loads
of
of us.
us.
Yeah, it's
We were
mad.
just like
It's mad. You
go
know that
for it.
phrase circle jerk, bruv? The realization of that phrase is mad. No. Like we had a conversation about like, yo, like the same thing that we've had on this show. Like, how long do you think it would take for chaos to reign if everything went down? And the lowest estimate, someone said, they said within 2 hours, they think people will be running down the street, setting stuff on fire now. That's where we're at right now because things are moving so quickly.
Yeah, I used to think it would take days. I honestly now think it would take hours.
Yeah, and you know how like we got into the prepping stuff. You know, I'm into that kind of stuff, but I feel like I've kind of turned the corner, and I'm like, put me at ground zero of wherever these things drop yet, because I'm out, bruv. I'm out. I want to
But
be
I was
like,
telling you
hey
that
guys,
for
my name's
ages.
I know.
Yeah.
I've come across the other side. I want to be like, hey guys, my name's Marcus Bronzy. Welcome to. The
Yeah.
program you were watching has been paused.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whatever. I'm like,
because even if you survive, you're like, what kind of a world am I gonna live in? That is it worth even surviving? Like you just end up being in some post-apocalyptic mayhem that, and you're gonna have to like, be close to a library to understand how do I get a generator working.
bro.
Fighting people so you can get to another library in another borough just because they've got the books that you need.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we live in a world now where people think CMOS can save late stage cancer, terminal cancer. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen when we take away the resources of these people? Bro,
It's so funny how anti-science people have got.
it's like
Like
the
people,
last.
like yeah. People used to be like, "Oh my God, like, I wonder if the doctor can save me." And now it's just like, "Well, what do doctors know?" Really? And
Yeah.
you're
Or
like,
people go to their doctor to tell their doctor what's wrong with them and demand the medicine. And if they don't get it, they're not very happy. That's
"Did
what
you
you
see
see
though?
now.
That doctors were getting told off the other day,
What do I get told off for?
using unauthorized AI software to record patient conversations."
Oh, really? What?
Yeah.
Like what? Was it nefarious or not? Like, what was it?
I don't know. I think it's just, say for example, you're using Chat GPT. They're like, "Well, this hasn't been authorized by the NHS, so you can't use it."
Listen, NHS can't say nothing, man. You lot were still running Windows NT or whatever it was and got hacked in it. So until you've got me on a good computer, you can't really be talking to me. Have you seen doctors' computers, bruv? Yeah, those like they are so outdated, so outdated.
Well, with a big back,
Yeah, they got the big back
monitors with a
screens.
big back and
They-
that. Like,
I reckon some of them can still take floppy disks. And if you don't know what those are, well, get on the internet and know, bro.
floppy disk. There's a
Floppy disk.
blast from the part.
Bro, I used to have 4.4 megabytes on a disk. Do you know how much
They used to
information I
be-
could put on that?
There used to be like, if you needed to download something, it'd come on like, like install something. Sometimes it would come on like 4 floppy disks. They'd be like, here's, put the first one in, then put second one in, put the third one. It'd tell you on the screen.
Yeah, man.
What a thing. Remember when you have to, oh my gosh, back in the day, press start, programs. Mate, what a generation we
Press
came up.
start, programs, a little bit of Minesweeper, maybe some
But
pinball if your
have
computer
you
was fancy
realized,
enough.
like, look how patient we were back then, yeah? Look how quickly it took to dissipate any sort of patience we had. Within the space of 5 or 6 years, we are now so impatient. It's a joke. We are like, you know what, they always take the piss out of Londoners for getting on a tube platform and it's like trains coming in 2 minutes and we're like,
Yeah.
we're like that in general now with everything. We're just like, what do you mean it's taking long? How dare you?
Yeah, man. I had to wait 45 minutes for a train yesterday because it was like I was coming back from Gatwick and I missed the like train that I was meant to get. So I had to wait 45 minutes. It was excruciating to know that I wasn't moving. And you know what? That just proves
you
it's
were
not
out
just
of country again. Again?
yeah. I was in
Oh,
Portugal.
what flight number was that this year?
I was like, I don't know, you don't really can't lose count after a little.
Wow. Wow, the business lounge has been seeing you for a while now, man. Like they know your name now, but like, hey, Mr. Bronzy.
It was my second time in Gatwick in like a week, so the people were like, "Oh, back again." I was like, "Yeah, man, how you doing? You're right." Yeah.
They actually said that.
yeah.
You're fucking.
Hello.
You're. Oh, Mr. Hey.
Mr. Hey. But yes,
I was just gonna say a bunch of Nigerian surnames, but I was like, until I actually got it. But I was like, let me not bother.
but yeah, man. What was I saying? But yeah, like, but you know what I realized, Kay, as well. Like, I know we get onto like young people. It's everyone though. I've seen like everyone has been in this chokehold of lack of attention and instant information. I'm seeing big people, adults older than us, yeah, with an iPad out and their phone out, and they're partnered with the same thing, like out when they're out in public, and that's cool. Like everyone's just into their phones, into like the Insta world. Do you get me? WhatsApp groups, all that kind of stuff. Because I think people give young people a hard time, but I think everyone is being captured by this whole kind of.
I think boomers are the worst.
Got more time. Yeah,
Boomers are scrolling on Facebook like no tomorrow, bro.
yeah,
And they would
yeah.
just spend hours on their phones on Facebook. They're single-handedly keeping Meta alive.
Bro, they're doing big numbers. They're doing big numbers. Before they'd be slapping on Radio 4 and listening to that all day, but now they'll have a healthy 3 to 4 hour scroll on Facebook and Insta and TikTok, bro. They're there. They are there.
One guy in one of my group chats shared a Facebook reel, and we started cussing him for how old he was.
Wow, what did you share?
No, it was just a Facebook reel. It was like, who the
Because it was a Facebook reel, like, right,
Yeah.
Facebook link.
yeah, who the fuck is like this? Everyone started like going mad, like,
Yeah, man.
and he's a personal trainer as well. So we were like, oh right, like, what was it? What was personal training like in the 80s? Was it like just a
Push it to the limit. Did you just
There
play
weren't
stuff
really,
like that?
yeah, there weren't really a lot of you back then, were there? Like,
Yeah.
so how did you get clients and that?
Oh, that is wild, man. That is wild. You lot could
yeah.
smoke in your gyms, innit? You could like smoke a.
That's a fucking hilarious thing though. The idea of like you go to certain places in Europe and they're still like just smoking out and about, and if you even suggest to them that like you're gonna get rid of it, they're like, what?
How are you going to stop smoking in France? How are you going to? You no way, no way. I
Did you see
I
that
still
thing
think
that they
that
had?
kids. I still think the first thing kids do when they pop out of their mum is light one up in France and go. Oh, I just feel like it is so ingrained into their culture. Like I can't see France banning cigarettes the way
Of
that
course,
they have in the rest of the
I
world.
mean, you
And you know they'll strike as well, Kay, if they try and do that. They'll take to the
Oh yeah, yeah,
streets.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see they had that thing La Fête de la Musique?
No, it was La Fête de la Musique.
It was like a music festival over there. Like
Yeah.
I think it was mainly Afro beats. Don't like kill me if I'm incorrect. or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
I've seen the clips. I've seen some Amapiano like vibes like in the street and stuff like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "Oh, we should do something like that in London." I was like,
We have DJ AG. We got AG. Yeah, that's
"No,
what
no,
we've
no."
got.
I was
but
like,
we've not got
we
here.
literally have one of the biggest street carnivals.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Not in Hill, man.
which they're
Not
trying
in
to
Hill
cancel
Carnival.
anyway. But
Yeah, they're trying to get onto it, man. They're getting onto it, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, Kay, I was in Portugal. I thought of you in Portugal, man, because I know that tudo bem. I always hear you saying that, bro.
tudo bem, tudo bem.
Tudo bem. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to my Portuguese people. I just want to say, man, those little they've was it Paso del Nat?
Pastel de Natas.
Paso del Natas. They are incredibly
Custard
Moorish.
tarts.
Custard tarts, basically incredibly Moorish. I love them and hate them because they are one of those things. How am I ever going to eat one of those, bro? Have you had one before, like a proper
Of
one?
course I have. When I went to
Bro.
Lisbon, I went to like the proper like shops that sell them fresh and
Yeah, man. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
like yeah. I mean, I could have like custard tart in it, take it or leave it. I'm just like, it is what it is. It's all right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It was very nice. It was like every time I was. You go on.
I don't know why people gas them so much.
They're not like a conventional new sweet where they're like full of flavor and sweetness, but they just got a nice subtle vanilla when the vanilla kicks in, the little custardiness of it.
You see, when you're on
the sweet
holiday, are
butteriness
you one
it.
of those guys that are like calories don't count?
Yes, and even when I'm on these, like I was over there with Toyota, so we was trying out this new electric car called the RZ with some new style of steering, which is called steering by wire, by the way. So I was holding this thing that looked like I looked like a pilot flying a plane, driving that around. Yeah,
Toyota, if you're listening, give me a whip for the tour, please. Like, let
Yeah,
me
man.
just drive around the UK on one of your cars, please.
I mean within the Toyota. Sorry, I was out there with Lexus, but everyone knows they're the same company. Within the Toyota Lexus range, there are a couple of whips that it would be a pleasure to drive you to tour places with in case. So maybe we'll make that happen. Yeah, hold tight for that.
Yeah, I really wanna use one of their cars.
Hold tight for that. But when I was over there, right, like I'd realized that I don't know if it's because I was the way we were moving with the trip, running like driving the car and stuff, which is great car to drive, bit of fun. I'll talk about that on another pod as well. Over there, it felt like they were not as phased by what's going on in as much as we are over here. I felt like the conversations that I saw, the few conversations, no one was really as
Do you know what it
plugged
is
in.
with Portugal though? Do you know what it is with Portugal? They're not really bombing anybody, right?
Mm.
And the thing is, with Portugal, I think a lot of people just tend to like forget about their colonial past because they're not really on stuff anymore. Like, do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like they're like that. Do you know what? Do you know what I describe Portugal as? You know the guy that used to be on road, yeah. You know the guy that used to be on road, yeah. Like he was mashing work. He was just like,
Yeah. Yeah. Active.
yeah,
Active.
proper
There's
active,
active.
yeah. Like smashing things around, like, and then just went quiet for a bit, yeah. And then he came back. He's like either turned like really evangelical Christian or like Muslim or whatever. And he's come back and then now he's doing youth work with the kids and
Yeah.
saying, you don't need to do this. Like, trust me. I was like,
Don't need to
he's
live like this.
basically,
Yeah.
he's basically, remember Napoleon from the Outlaws who that used to, that used to, he used to rap with Tupac. And now he's like Muslim and he does like seminars and talks about how bad gang life is, right? That's essentially what I look at Portugal as, because Portugal were doing a mad thing.
If you look at their
Portugal,
history, yeah, Portugal were, I don't know,
they were,
prolific's the wrong word, yeah, but you know what I mean, Kay? They were
yeah, brother.
about,
What were you doing in Japan, bro?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Yeah. When you look at certain
bro,
genetic makeup of
Portugal,
countries and they're like, hang on, why is half of our population 40% Portuguese? And you're like,
yeah, 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 yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
well,
Bro,
well.
look. But I'm saying, bro, look how far Japan is from
Yeah,
Portugal. What the fuck were the Portuguese doing over there, yeah? And once you start thinking of that, and then now you see them now, they're like, oh, we're Portugal. Come to Lagos. Come
yeah,
to, oh, come to the Algarve.
yeah,
Oh, Sporting Lisbon. Oh no, we don't do
yeah.
it. Bro, Portugal were on stuff, man. They were a proper gunman that's now like reformed and just
Yeah.
chills back and goes, nah, bruv, me, nah, I wasn't even
Yeah,
on that, you know. I wasn't even
yeah.
that bad. I wasn't even that bad. I was
You
just,
know what? You know they say time's a great healer. You know what I mean. So let's hopefully hope enough time has passed. So you know we can just say what I've made the mistake, so you don't have to. Do you know what I
he,
mean, big
he
man?
used to be
So
driving a Benz. Now he's like, do you know what? Even if I drive a Nissan,
yeah.
he's a bit like you in that respect. Portugal's a
Oh,
bit like you in that
come on now.
respect. Where you're like, where he used to have slits in his eyebrows, causing chaos across European islands, and now it's just like, nah, man, like I just go to bed early and wear shorts, innit?
All the time. Now, yeah, now you can't see me without my compression socks because prevention's
Yeah,
better than cure, bro. I'm telling you.
exactly. Because what
Um,
do you really hear about Portugal? You can't tell me Portugal's head of state now.
no, I cannot. Obviously I am armed with Portuguese facts because I've just been there. But there's lots of things I didn't know about them. But all of their facts now lean on their kind of like you said, the we're nice and friendly thing. So they're like their national tree is the cork tree. You know, they export cork for wine. They make port. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you know we dominate slave trade and you know
Yeah,
destroying
yeah, yeah,
countries
yeah,
across the
yeah,
world.
yeah,
None of
yeah.
that. Not a
What were you
statue in
doing?
sight.
Yeah, there's no talk about what they were doing in Angola
Nah,
or Brazil.
exactly.
No, no.
Exactly. None of that
Yeah.
stuff. No, it's
Yeah,
like,
Pete, that's what I'm saying. People just forget about the Portuguese colonial history. It's just like, what do you mean Portugal were up to that? Like Spanish, they're still like people still talk about the Spanish, but
yeah,
yeah, man,
yeah,
Portugal get away with it. But yeah, look, man, it's a nice little country as well. I have to respect sometimes, yeah, when I see a little country like that, because if you look at Portugal on a map
yeah,
and you look at England on a map,
yeah.
I have to rate it
Oh,
from
what like
purely
how far they go? But
yeah.
yeah, you see with the UK though, I always said things are so meaty here. Like the weather's all right, food's all right. I kind of understand going to places and being like, what is this spice? What is this tea? We need this and bringing it back. But Portugal, I'm like, it's quite nice there. What motivated you to get out of there? What was up? Like you got the
Yeah,
weather,
that's
you
true.
got the coast,
Bloodlust.
you got food.
Bloodlust.
Like yeah, you lot are mad. They're like that person that you know that friend back in the day that you'd bring out with you, and you kind of have to keep half an eye on them because if you didn't, you'd like turn away, get a
Yeah, yeah,
drink,
yeah, yeah,
turn
yeah,
around,
yeah.
and they're all of a sudden they're arguing with six bouncers. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
And they're
yes,
going,
yes,
come
yes,
over
yes.
here, bro. We need to back it, bro. It's
Short man
six
syndrome. Yeah, they are
bouncers.
small. They are
Yeah,
small as well,
yeah, yeah.
actually. Yeah, you're right. Do you know
That's
what?
like
Like,
people.
I look at like places like Portugal, right?
Yeah,
And places like the UK and stuff. And I'm always astounded at how they were able to run Like the UK for example. One thing about like the empire that always strikes me is how are you able like because things don't work now, right?
Mm,
In this country, look at
yeah.
like things don't work now, yeah.
Yeah.
But they were able to have things working in like a third of the world.
Bro.
Like, do you know how, like, purely from like an admin point of view, yeah? For
Mm.
like, obviously, like there were really horrific aspects of it, but from an admin point of view and from a like management point of view, you have to respect it a little, bro.
It's like I feel like they had the same drive as the people in Succession. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to eat them. Like we need to take that country and we need to absorb that. That's now you see you're now part of the empire.
Yeah,
You get me? We're taking that. We're taking that. And obviously, I know I can almost hear people screaming into their AirPods and their phones and that. Obviously, the special ingredient in that was slavery. Of course, we know that. That was the
yeah, yeah,
secret.
yeah,
That was the secret spice
yeah,
that they
yeah,
just,
yeah,
they
yeah,
just
yeah.
salt made that in there. They're like, how do we make this work? Hey, but how about we don't pay people and they just work for us until they die. But yeah, like so, I don't know. Like I feel like it was like
But
if we
even things
weren't
like
growing,
trains running on
yeah,
time, you've got trains
yeah,
like
yeah,
you're all the way here, and there's trains running on time in India. Like
yeah,
that is mad to me, bro. Like,
wild, wild. Well,
like
with no internet. That's what's wild, Kay. With
yeah,
no
yeah,
internet.
yeah. I find that sort of stuff. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, listen, man. So you have to respect the management side of things. Like you're like fucking the sun never set on the British Empire, and you lot were still having things ticking along.
It's it's
Mental.
it's weird how you still see echoes of that nowadays. Like there are still some old people who like look back at those days with like rose tinted spectacles. Yeah. Do you get me? Like who were like, oh gosh, it was just things were just a lot, felt like, things were just very organized then. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
mad how people
Do you
people
know
say that
the
about a lot of
do you know
regimes as well.
do you know
Actually.
the one there was one thing that there was one photo that I saw one day that really put like okay, so you know when people say colonialism is bad or whatever, like I didn't
Mm.
really understand it until I saw a picture, one picture that made me go, "Oh, fuck this shit."
Mm.
Right? And because a lot of the time until you see something it doesn't really ram home to you how bad it was like obviously I think there's you, you, it's so weird because like there's part of you that's like obviously like that could have been another country doing it to us or
It
whatever
would
as
have
well and
been
they'd be real
100%.
proud of it, yeah.
100%.
But it was a picture of an Indian man. Well, they said Indian, so at the time it could have been Bengali, Pakistani, or whatever in it,
Yeah.
right? An Indian man with a British man on his back,
Carrying
right?
him.
Carrying him around because in the heat it was too hot for the man to walk around, and they'd have like Indians carrying them around. And I was just like, fucking hell, man. Like that is insane. Like I've never thought to myself, oh, it's so hot. Like we've had a heat wave here. I've never thought to myself, do you know what? It's so hot. I need somebody to carry me around on their back. I was just thinking, take
Do you
off
think? Do you
some of
think he
that,
turned around to
take
him
off
like a
that tweed
3-year-old and
jacket,
just put
bro.
his hand in the air like that? Like when young kids want to get picked up. Do you think he just went to the guy when everyone is to get picked up? Yeah, man, it's mad. It's mad.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That was the image that made me go, right now, fuck this shit. Because if a man told me to pick them up on their back and run them around all day, I'd be like, just kill me now, bro.
Bro, the level
That,
of
yeah.
think about the level of manipulation, right? That goes into getting someone into that position, right? So think about it, yeah. You're like someone's chilling in their country, everything's nice. Let's use an Indian man sipping a nice cup of tea, yeah, just enjoying that, right? Got his own religion, things are running nice, and a guy comes along and like goes, "No, you don't really want to do it like that. You're doing it. You're doing it wrong, man. Look. To me, I'll show you how to do things right. Yeah, 1 second. Let me just hold that tea for you. You don't want that tea. You don't really know what you're doing it. Yeah. Let me give you some religion as well. Yeah, yeah. You see that country? That's not India no more, man. That's Pakistan now, innit? Like, let's do that, whatever. Right? And then go. You know what? By the way, man, it's a bit hot for me. Do you mind just giving me a lift? And
The
that
stuff in a
is
man's.
the manipulation is mad,
Do you know
bro.
what though? I would go as far as to say though, India might be the easiest country to do that with because of the caste system that they have. So there's already a bunch of people that have been told from birth that they're worthless.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Psychologically, you're telling these people that
yeah, yeah,
you're part of like whatever caste, so you're never going to be a doctor or whatever. What does
yeah.
that do to your psyche? Do you know what I mean? So like if someone is telling you, get- Ugh.
Mad,
Anyway, but yeah,
mad.
that was an image that made me go mental.
Yeah,
Can't.
there's a few of them out there, man. It's wild, man. It's
I
wild.
don't tend to like watching negative stuff in it, and I saw that and I was like, "Fucking hell!" Like that really rammed it home, yeah. But from an admin point of view, like you said, without the internet, to have like so many countries running.
Yeah, they were doing this via letters on what, like a horse to a ship to another horse ridden across the country, and they're
But
like
do you know what?
making it's
You
mad.
know what I was thinking about? Like, you know, these bombings, like Iran and Israel and America and all that sort of stuff. They were saying like there was planes flying from America. It was like a was it like over? It was like a 28-hour trip or some shit like that. And they were refueling in the air.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was like, if somebody like America wanted to bomb Iran or wanted to attack Iran, even just like 60 years ago, do you know how hard it would have been?
yeah. What, like to do a yeah, like how?
Like they would have had like, do you know what I mean? It was now they're just going pressing a button and they're going from there, they're going from there. Iran's doing the same thing, like, but you're just like the ease at which war is happening now in
Yeah,
comparison to what it used to take before, like which everything gets sped up. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well,
it's everything
before they were like, we can't fly over it, so we have to you have to like again manipulate your way into the country,
via land
be
and
up a little
sea, yeah.
vibe in it, land and sea, or get a little inside person to build up a little bit of turmoil. You happen to just be passing by with your ships. You're
Well, I
like,
think
oh,
they've been trying to
need
do
some
that
help?
anyway, but I think they're still trying to do
Yeah,
that. But
always,
but
always, man.
But
Playbook number one.
yeah, I think it's like anything. Everything's been sped up, and it just rammed home how sped up like war is. It's like back in the day when you were dating someone, it'd be like you wouldn't be able to chat to them. You'd actually have to see them in real life, and that
Bro.
was sort of what war was like. But like now, you could just like send a message, go, "Hey, yo, we're gonna bomb you lot," and then you're bombing them at a press of a button.
Yeah, it's mad. Also, when are we going to get this technology for refueling in the air so I don't have to do any layovers, please? I'm just
Well, you
saying,
could
innit?
probably still do it, but your flight will be
I'll take
like
it.
massively
I'll
expensive.
pay it. I'll
No,
pay it
you
to
won't.
not have
No,
to
you
not
won't
have a
because you don't
layover,
even
to just
you
go
don't even
direct.
you don't even pay business class, so you're not paying for like your flight to be refueled in midair, bro. Like, who are you fucking kidding, bro? You're the kind of guy that goes, I don't see the point in priority boarding.
No, I got a second. Right, priority boarding is a load of bollocks. Whoever invented that,
I'll tell you
round
why
of applause.
priority
That's
boarding. I'll tell
fantastic.
you why priority boarding works. When you are on a flight, if you if the flight is full and you didn't get priority boarding and you're last on it, and they're like, sorry, sir, we can't put your luggage in the overhead. We're going to put it in the check-in, right?
Yeah,
And now you get to the other side and you can't leave the airport as quickly
yeah,
because you're waiting for your bag.
yeah,
That's when priority boarding comes into handy. When you don't have checked in luggage, you want to just
yeah.
slap it in the overhead and then fuck off. That's when it
Yeah,
comes in
I
handy.
think EasyJet now, because I flew in EasyJet and I flew back BA, but EasyJet, you with the flight I was on, you got speedy boarding, you got the bigger luggage that you could put in your overhead only if you had the speedy boarding. So they tie it all in together.
Yeah, but
You
that's
get
what I'm
me?
saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense like that. If you don't have speedy boarding, then
yeah. And also, Kay, something that really induced rage that I've mentioned before, but I've got to bring up again. On my flight out there and back, I twice saw groups of people that were 5 foot around in the extra legroom thing. We need to have, in America, they have your height and your weight on your license. We need that on your passport. And if you are under 5 foot, you do not need extra legroom. Yeah. I'm also, by the way, not just getting extra legroom for fun. I'm taking on the whole, if things go down, are you going to be the hero? I'm taking that on board just to get a bit of comfort. Yeah, listen. Yeah, if you're
Yeah,
small,
but you reap the
fuck
benefits in
out.
life. You reap the benefits of being tall in life. So
I
let
do.
these people just have that, bruv.
I do. Yeah. What? Have
You
the
can be
small people have the
inconvenienced,
leg
fam.
room? Nah, bro. Just sit.
Yeah, man.
Oh
Like small
man.
people ain't living life for a while, bruv. Like they're not living life like you, bruv.
I wish
Think,
you could take
look,
24 hours in my body and take a
you and
3 hour
your
flight with no leg
you
room. I
and your
wish, K.
three you and your 300 concubines throughout life. You're just the raw strength that you had, like just playing basketball and dunking at a whim. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you had a fucking amazing run. Let these short people have that, bruv. Let them just sit down in that
You
seat
can't
and
be in an extra legroom thing and your legs aren't even hitting the floor
they
though, and
paid for it.
your legs are swinging.
They paid for it, and what? So
It's
what?
unfair,
Where'd you
bro.
go?
I mean, I was
You're a
in legroom.
capitalist. You're
I
a
had legroom.
capitalist.
I had no.
Yeah.
I
So
was
why are
in the
you
legroom
moaning?
as well, but I just felt like, why are you
What? So
here?
you wanted to be around other tall people?
Other tall people, yeah, man, like us, share the burden with me, man. Like, so we can talk about tall people things. It's different for us, bruv. You don't. It's one of them things, man. Certain people don't get it. There's
You
certain
should be
conversations we can
happier.
have.
You should be happier if you're next to small people. That means you've got even more room.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But with tall people, you can look to left and right and be like, hey, look at us, man. Whew. Imagine if we didn't have these seats. Would have been tough, right? Yeah, would have been tough, brother. Hard on the knees,
Well,
yeah? Tell me about it, bro. And also, it
well,
does show a level of inconsideration because the three people on the way back decided to tear into burritos. No, it was on the way there. Tear into burritos, yeah? Whilst we
oh,
were
the
stuck on
agony.
whilst we were stuck on on the tarmac
How
for half an hour.
dare they? How
Bruv, you
dare
can't
they?
be. That is not a flight-friendly food. Crisps, yeah, yeah. Maybe a little sandwich, yeah, yeah. But a hot burrito, bruv. I didn't want a
Nah.
hot burrito when the aircon ain't really running yet because you're just
Every
still taxiing.
listen,
Oh,
do not
man.
listen to Marcus, man. Anyway, we're gonna hit our Patreon. If you're not part of the Patreon gang, get yourself over there. You can ask us questions. We answer them. Dilemmas, all sorts. We'll answer them, bro. Like if you've got any
Yeah.
sort of issues, we'll answer them.
Send us
There's
some
loads of
tall issues or short issues as well. Like I want to know about your world also whilst discussing mine as well. What's it like down there for you? You know? Do you know what I
Or
mean?
if you just want to call them expletives, send that through as well. If link should be in the show description as well, so go over there. For less than a price of a coffee, you can get loads of bonus content. So we'll see you over there, guys. Peace.